I am particularly interested in this matter, not only from the standpoint of our health and safety, but from a security standpoint, and I will explain. Unfortunately, we've had this lingering crisis with the State Butchers Union, which have exposed butchers, veterinary personnel, and others within the value chain of the livestock industry to grave danger. This situation has continued to worsen, and I worry that if we did not nip the problem on a timely basis, it could escalate to a position where we will have huge regrets. Because no responsible government can sit, fold its arms, and watch a situation like this deteriorate. Let me just quickly digress a bit. You will notice that there has been quite a bit of security crisis across the country as a result of herders, farmers clashes. That's what they call it. But one aspect that is beginning to come out from a security standpoint is that the main economic asset of most of the herders is their livestock. And because it's the main asset, as a result of the crisis you had in the Northeast, this whole issue of cattle rustling has now assumed a worrying and very dangerous dimension, such that we now begin to see there's a link between the herdsmen, the armed insurgents, and our cattle markets. So while people think that they're fighting amongst themselves here for control, there's a huge and bigger security dimension, because nobody can tell me who owns the cattle that are being slaughtered in abattoirs today. Because most of the people who bring those cattle may not own those cattle. They may have been rustled. And we now find illegal markets, cattle markets, springing up, which the leadership of the Butcher Association seem to be encouraging and supporting. So from a pure security standpoint, we've decided to take control of the whole chain from the slaughter, so that we can track how this cash flows back and forth to support the insurgency and the crisis we have in Nigeria. So whereas you could see people think that they're just fighting some, battles at the abattoirs, but it has a wider implication and security implication. That is one reason I've taken an interest in this matter, to say we must take control of what is going on. So that is one of the reasons why I said I'm stepping in. I'm setting up a 13-member caretaker committee, and we have been very careful in selecting each one of you, because I have interacted with most of you. I know what you stand for, I know your background, and I believe that when we have people like you, we'll be able to bring sanity into our livestock business in Edo State. As a government, we are also making a lot of investments in improving the business environment in the state. Edo is a hub. People naturally come here, they pass through. The goal of our government is to begin to increase the level and quality of economic activities, so that we use that advantage to feed everybody around us. So if we're able to organize our own livestock business properly, in line with modern tenets, I do not see why we cannot be the hub of the livestock business in the South-South. I also am very worried because of some of the reports we are getting as to some of the very unhealthy practices going on in our abattoirs and and also within the livestock business, particularly the abattoirs, where people now unwantonly and wickedly go and slaughter all other types of animals in the name of beef. They go slaughter donkeys and sell to unsuspecting members of the public. We believe that there is a lot of work to be done. We as government want to also support with a lot of investments so that we can improve the quality of the livestock business in Edo State. And I have no doubts that if any group of people can do it, you are the people that will help me do it. Therefore, I asked that the committee be set up so that I can personally to inaugurate it, because I regard it as a very, very important assignment. I decided to inaugurate it myself, and I want you to get to work immediately. First, to document all the abattoirs in the state. Let me know the state of each one, and we then have plans for each one on how to expand them and put in facilities. I am not going to continue to accept, and I'm sure you will not accept the situation where all sorts of people set up abattoirs indiscriminately in the city. And there's no oversight. Nobody is checking to make sure that the water being used in the abattoirs is clean. Nobody is, checking to make sure that the veterinary, so the doctors or surgeons who are supposed to be there come and do the proper inspection, and also that the fees due to government are collected. But I trust that all of you, knowing your background, knowing your pedigree, will make sure that at the end of your tenure, we have the best abattoirs in Nigeria, in Edo State. So I look forward to working with you. The terms of reference for the committee are as follows: to ensure the maintenance of high standards of health and sanitation in all abattoirs and government-approved slaughterhouses, to ensure that healthy animals and meat are slaughtered for public consumption in all our abattoirs, to ensure that the prohibition of the slaughter and sale of donkey meat is strictly adhered to, and to promptly report violators to veterinary officers for further action, to ensure that only government-approved taxes, levies, and rates are collected in all abattoirs and slaughterhouses. You know that this is something we are very, very interested in and concerned about. Generally, you are supposed to perform all functions that the suspended executive committee performed before its suspension, provided that such functions are performed within the confines of the law. You are to perform functions and carry out responsibilities that are necessarily incidental to all of the above. The terms of reference will be circulated to you during your inaugural meeting. And it is my pleasure to now formally inaugurate this committee. Congratulations.
So I want to thank you for finding us support to lead this committee. As you know, as a stakeholder in the meat industry, we do everything necessary, humanly possible, to make sure the meat industry is transformed and the sanity and the peace and the crew in the slaughterhouses. So I want to assure you that before now, we have put every machinery in place to make sure those who are in the guys of meat sellers, those that don't keep meat are exposed without any compromise. So I just honor that people today and go out wholeheartedly to make sure we bring sanity to the meat industry. We are very aware that 25 years ago, Brazilian government will not be able. Today, Brazil are the second largest exporters of beef in the world. And in those days, we have the opportunity to do that. Not that we have been inaugurated us, we go out wholeheartedly to make sure we bring in the best practices